Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stat Sports Show. I'm your host, Earl Basden, and I'm joined by the chef de mission for the Junior Pan Am Games in Julia Hawley, as well as the screen shot there of Ashley Yearwood, who is the assistant chef de mission for the Junior Pan Am Games, which get underway tomorrow with the opening ceremony in Cali, Colombia. Julia, obviously, well, let me just apologize, folks. They are having quite a bit of challenges with the internet here in Cali. It is not the best, and we will probably be on and off throughout our time, but we still wanted to bring you an update regarding the Junior Pan Am Games. Julia, can you give us an update as to how many of the athletes have arrived and how are things going thus far in the team hotel?
Yeah, hopefully the Wi-Fi is working here. It's buffering a lot, so I apologize if people can't actually hear me properly. Yeah, we arrived. Ashley and I arrived on Sunday. We've been here a few days now, just trying to get everything in place for all of our athletes and team managers that have been arriving. We have a good portion of our team here now. And they're getting settled. Some came in yesterday, and most of the other ones came in today. This games we do have different satellites where people are located. So the majority of the athletes are in Cali, but we do have two members of the team are in Lake Kalima, which is where the triathlon is being held, and that's approximately 2 hours away. There have been we were supposed to have the flag raising ceremony today, and unfortunately the weather didn't cooperate, so they were not able to do that, which was a little bit unfortunate. But tomorrow we do have the opening ceremonies, so we're very excited about that, and then we have our first event starting the very next day. So this is an inaugural games, and there have been some challenges here. But over the days, those things are slowly getting sorted out, which is fantastic. And yeah, we had our archery arrived yesterday, and they were out and trained this morning. And took the transportation to the venue. So yeah, it's so far it's just a fantastic experience for everybody. Yeah, we're very excited about all the competitions starting.
Now, Julia, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is the amount of work that goes in as a leader of an organization of this magnitude, as being the chef. What would you say your experience has been like thus far?
I'm not sure I completely heard you, Earl, but I think you asked me about being a chef, and I hadn't been a chef before, and this is my first experience. Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So yes, this is my first time being a chef. I would certainly say there's an enormous amount of work that goes into being a chef de mission. And we're very fortunate at these games that we have an assistant chef de mission, Ashley. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think I could have done this without Ashley. There's just so many moving parts. And of course, you're in a different country where you have the language issue. And then we have the complication of COVID, and we have the complication of the satellite, the different areas that the athletes are competing in, and sometimes staying in. So yeah, there's been a significant amount of work that has gone into being the chef de mission and the assistant chef de mission. But Ashley and I have been working so well together, and having, we've just shared the load, and we've managed to get everything done that we have to get done. And our role is to make sure that we're dealing with all of those things so that our team managers and our athletes can focus on their events.
Yeah. And of course, we have the opening ceremony tomorrow. It was announced that Maisha Sharif and Jaden Roberts will be our flag bearers for the opening ceremony. Give us some thought as to why those two were chosen.
So we obviously it's a bit challenging in terms of like how many athletes can be here because these games are in and out games. Not every athlete is here, but we were very excited when we had the archery actually qualified or were able to actually compete in this competition in this major games. So this is the first time that we've actually had archery at a major games. So Jaden was selected because this is such an exciting moment, obviously, for us, that we have a new sport that Bermuda is going to be represented. We also the flag bearers, we have to have a male and a female flag bearer. And we selected Maisha. She's a young swimmer here in Bermuda. And yeah, we think that those two will represent the country extremely well and are very excited to be the flag bearers. And we look forward to tomorrow's opening ceremonies.
Definitely. Ashley, can you hear us? The internet at the hotel here in Cali is not very good. There's challenges, so bear with us as we get our way through this. But looking at some of the athletes as they're here, and Julia, and you get an opportunity to talk to them and the coaches, you could see that little spark in their eye that they're excited to be here and pretty much ready, can't you?
I'm sorry, Earl, I could not hear that at all. I must apologize.
Okay. You've seen some of the athletes who have arrived and you've had an opportunity to speak with them. You see that sparkle in their eye? Do you think they're ready for this opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. We went up to the very first athlete to arrive was Nick Pilgrim from triathlon. And they had to do a transfer once they landed, they had to transfer 2 hours to Lake Kolyma. And then Ashley and I traveled to Lake Kolyma the next day to see them. And they're just very excited to be part of this experience of these major games. They're in a very different location to the Cali-based athletes. Lake Kolyma is out in the countryside on a beautiful lake where I think there's triathlon, there's rowing and sailing out there. So it's just a very different experience being out at Lake Kolyma. And Nick is very excited about participating in this triathlon at these games. And then our other athletes, as I said, we have archery is our first time having archery, and they came in, late last night, and then they were out, at the training venue first thing this morning. So they didn't get a lot of sleep, I don't think, but they were obviously excited to go see, and be part of this experience. We had our swimmers that just came in as well this afternoon, and they came to the hotel. They had a bit to eat, and then they've gone out and done a little training session at the pool. In fact, they're there right now. So yeah, I think the athletes are very excited about this opportunity to be part of this. I think the organizers, the volunteers have been absolutely tremendous at this game so far. They've been so helpful to us in our delegation, just helping us sort out things when we have problems, and they can help us deal with and navigate through the challenges that we face. But the athletes are obviously very excited. And Robin, our mountain biker, he's going to be out at the course. He's got to get up very early to go and train at his venue tomorrow. He has to be there for 8 o'clock for the training. So he's also very excited. He came in earlier today and he didn't have time to go to the training, but he's very much looking forward to going there tomorrow and seeing what the course looks like.
Well, I know you have multiple other things to do, but I wanted to give the people in Bermuda and those that watch around the world an opportunity to hear what's going on in Cali as we prepare for the opening ceremony tomorrow evening. And then we have these youngsters flying our flag for us in the inaugural Junior Pan Am Games here in Cali, Colombia.
Yeah, thank you, Earl, and apologies again for the Wi-Fi. But hopefully everyone was able to hear what I said, and very much looking forward to the next week or so.
Sure.
Thanks.
We're gonna take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have more of the Island Stat Sports Show. We'll be back.
John Barrett and Son, Bermuda's leading distributor of fine beverages, have brought us something fresh and exciting this month. Mystic Juices, skillfully blended for captivating flavor and loaded with nutritional value. Mystic Juices not only taste remarkably good, one serving will supply an abundance of vitamins A and C, more than the certified measure needed to meet your daily requirements. This month we're featuring delicious and nutritious Mystic Juices in an enticing range of flavors in 64 and 16-ounce bottles. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
Welcome back. We will be joined by David Bascom at the bottom of the hour. So what we'll do is we'll run through a few of the sports that we covered yesterday. We had the announcement, as I said earlier, with the flag bearers being announced in swimmer Maisha Sharif and archer Jaden Roberts, the two youngest members of the team who lead the participating athletes and support at the opening ceremony, which again gets underway tomorrow. And then, of course, on day 2 of the Bucknell Swimming Invitational, Brian Desmond is representing Fordham and Caleb Ingham is representing LaSalle University. Both two young people who are doing some good things in their schools, representing their men's swimming teams. Ingham swam the ankle leg for LaSalle in the men's 200-yard medley relay, their B team. That finished 16th with a time of 136.79, and Desmond touched the wall in a time of 146.94 during the men's 200-yard freestyle C final, finishing 8th. Desmond helped Fordham finish 13th in the men's 800-yard freestyle, clocking a time of 7:06.38. As we previously reported, Kamal Levrock and Dalray Rollins have been drafted into the Florida Scorpion team for the upcoming edition of the 2021 U.S. Open Cricket Tournament. And that takes place in Central Bower Regional Park. And that begins December 6th through to the 12th. And then we had Vanessa James and Eric Redford concluded competing in the International de France Pairs Ice Skating event. They finished 4th overall with a combined score. They've done the short program and then the free skating program. They had a combined score of 196.34 to finish in 4th place. Running down some of our footballers who competed yesterday, it was Nathan Trott. He went down with his AS Nancy teammates to Rhodes to the nil. Kenny Thompson and her London City Lioness teammates went down 2-0 to Charlton Athletic ladies. Delia Eben and her Berrytown United ladies FC teammates went down 3-1 to Port Talbot Town, and Justin Donovan was an unused substitute. His Solihull Moors teammates got back to winning ways, winning 2-0 over Grimsby Town, or 1-0 over Grimsby Town. Leo Deal and his Newark Football Club teammates edged Melton Town 1-0. We had 5 young people representing this country or celebrating this country abroad, playing football. Kalen Peters and his Connecticut College men's basketball teammates fell to Salva Regina by a score of 80-65 in basketball. Peters went 0 for 4 from the field. He had 16 minutes of action. He had 2 personal fouls and 1 steal. Caleb Barjett was in action competing in the Winter Equestrian Festival's PES full final in the 1.15 meter MS Children's Adult Jumping class. Barjett finished 5th, riding SYL Dendy. They had a clear first round time of 40.62, and they had a second round jump off time of 49.92 during the 1.10 meter children adult AM jumper class. Barjett and SYL Dendy finished 3rd, clocking a time of 82.69, but they also had 8 penalty for points. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we're hoping to be joined by David Bascom, whose Baltimore Blast season is set to get underway next weekend, as he will undertake being the coach for the first time of a professional club. We'll be back.
The use of butter goes back millennia, and its exalted status in the cooking world and in so many kitchens is undeniable. Around 3,000 years ago, ghee, or clarified butter, was developed in India and is the cooking oil of choice in many regions of the subcontinent, and compared to butter has a higher smoke point, reduced dairy solids, and a more robust, nuanced flavor. And to Organic Valley, creators of a certified organic version of this versatile traditional staple. This month we're featuring Organic Valley Ghee Clarified Butter. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
Welcome back. Just to let you know, we will be featuring chapter 4 of the Red Card book next week, Wednesday. We'll be joined by Tommy, David, as well as, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But we'll be joined by a host of folks who will be discussing chapter 4 of the Red Card book. So look out for the release of the promo. I believe it's coming out on Friday, and we'll feature that, and we'll get the Red Card book chapter 4 done and dusted on Wednesday night, and just bring you what's new and looking forward to for the Red Card book. David will be talking about the Red Card book next week, but this week he will be joining us shortly to discuss his preparation for the upcoming season, as he was a member of the Baltimore Blast and then a member of the coaching staff as assistant coach to Denny Kelly. and now he has been entrusted the task of leading the Baltimore Blast, and I know he has worked extremely hard behind the scenes to change a bit of the culture of how the guys prepare. He has surrounded himself with former players, former coaches, and just to make sure that he's done all his homework. He's worked hard to learn from them as much as they've learned from him, and the players are appreciating everything they're getting. Now, can that transform to W's? I know one of the things that Mr. Bascom will talk about is results based. As a professional coach, you're analyzed, reviewed, and observed on the results. You can play the most attractive football or soccer you want, but if you're at 500 at the halfway mark, playing beautiful football or soccer doesn't make a difference. It's the results that are needed, and I know he's driven by that. And he may even joke that they would have to find another coach if things are not going well. But he's going to be very hard on himself in a bit to look and make sure that he has covered all his bases. It may work, it may not. We never know. We just put our faith in the Almighty, and we also trust our training. But we have to remember that other teams train just as hard, if not harder, to beat anybody that's been a champion. And he's gotten 11 championships over the years. So it's not been an easy road, but it's one of those roads where he's learned to travel. And now being a coach will make it that much more challenging. So what we're going to do, we're going to take one more commercial break, and hopefully we will be joined by David Bascom, the Baltimore Blast coach, who gets their season underway on December 4th. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's leading distributor of fine beverages, have brought us something fresh and exciting this month. Mystic Juices, skillfully blended for captivating flavor and loaded with nutritional value. Mystic Juices not only taste remarkably good, one serving will supply an abundance of vitamins A and C, more than the certified measure needed to meet your daily requirements. This month we're featuring delicious and nutritious Mystic Juices in an enticing range of flavors in 64 and 16-ounce bottles. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
And welcome back. We still await Mr. Bascom, but we did have him scheduled to come on at 8:30, so another 2 minutes, and he should hopefully be signing on, and we can get our conversation underway. I want to go back to something that Julia Hawley, the chef de mission for the Bermuda team of here in Cali for the Junior Pan Am Games, they were due to have what they consider the flag raising ceremony, where all the nations that are taking part in the games has a moment where their flag is raised to officially welcome them to the city. And then obviously they have the opening ceremony, which welcomes them to the games. But unfortunately, today's event, due to severe inclement weather, was postponed because of flooding of the area where the event was due to be held. And only about 45 minutes before the event was going to be held, did this heavy rain kind of change and alter plans. So onward to tomorrow's opening ceremony, where again, the two youngest members of the Bermuda team will be the flag bearers in Maisha Sharif and Jaden Roberts. So I know they're looking forward to entering the stadium with the Bermuda flag and with those athletes and officials behind them, walking proudly, representing their country, and the significance of having a youth event such as the Junior Pan Ams, such as the Youth Olympics. It gives athletes from around the world an opportunity to see what these level of competitions are like, and then step into that other, stratosphere of the major event. But we don't want to overshadow the fact that we have junior events, because one has to start somewhere. And if you win a junior Olympic medal, it's almost like winning. It is winning an Olympic medal, whether it be junior or a senior medal. But we look forward to what these young people will be able to achieve over the next few days, what they'll learn, what they'll experience. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be highs and there will be lows. There will probably be tears. I'm not saying not just from our athletes, but from a few athletes who will feel they've prepared and it's just one minor mistake that kind of costs them something. As we know in sports, the person that makes, or the team, that makes the most mistakes basically is the one that ends up on the losing end. So let's hope that these games are good to everyone, and everyone can enjoy their best performance and give everybody the display that they want to be given, and they represent their country well. So with that, we'll take our final commercial break, and when we come back, hopefully, really hopefully, we'll be joined by David Bascom. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's leading distributor of fine beverages, have brought us something fresh and exciting this month. Mystic Juices, skillfully blended for captivating flavor and loaded with nutritional value. Mystic Juices not only taste remarkably good, one serving will supply an abundance of vitamins A and C, more than the certified measure needed to meet your daily requirements. This month we're featuring delicious and nutritious Mystic Juices in an enticing range of flavors in 64 and 16-ounce bottles. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. I'm still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
The use of butter goes back millennia, and its exalted status in the cooking world and in so many kitchens is undeniable. Around 3,000 years ago, ghee, or clarified butter, was developed in India and is the cooking oil of choice in many regions of the subcontinent, and compared to butter has a higher smoke point, reduced dairy solids, and a more robust, nuanced flavor. And to Organic Valley, creators of a certified organic version of this versatile traditional staple. This month we're featuring Organic Valley Ghee Clarified Butter. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
And welcome back. We're joined by David Bascom, the head coach for the Baltimore. Good evening, Mr. Bascom. How are you?
Good evening. Oh, Basin, everything is going well. Yeah, you're smiling.
Yeah.
You're smiling.
Well, I'm smiling because I've got my fingers and toes crossed, hoping that the internet that we've been struggling with here in Colombia stays up.
All right. Well, let's hope so. Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. So you're a matter of days away from leading out the Baltimore Blast as the head coach. Give us a sense of what that transition has been like for you and the amount of work that's going into preparing the players for this first game in only, 10 days now?
Yeah, 10 days. It's been a lot of work. It's been, the first thing is that getting buy-in with the players as I'm developing this new culture and climate. One would think that because we have won 9 championships, there is no need for change. What myself and Danny Kelly have realized over the years is that coaching has become very punitive. It means telling the players what to do. And I wanted to, when I took the job, to make a change, right? I had to make a shift in getting players, put them in a learning environment before the season starts, so I can teach before the season and then have the ability to coach. So it would help them to manage the game on the field. As we know, as coaches, we can't play for them. So we knew, I knew it's going to be a task. So the alignment of the coaching staff that I've put together has been great. The performance coach, my assistant coach, Neto, Dr. Neto, has really worked well. He has really worked well. So the players right now, because they have brought into the 7 weeks of some hard work, preseason has been awesome. And we're ready. And the interesting part is that even the first game, I know people's kind of like, is this going to be a championship season? Are you going to win? When you and Danny was together, you guys won a lot of games. And I really don't pay no mind. The game looks different to me in the position that I'm in. I cannot rely on results alone to move what I'm trying to do, especially when I'm changing a whole professional environment. It's the opportunity and the results will come in. I'm being judged on my timeline, on the buy-in and the change mentally and physically of the players. Everybody's pumped. I mean, it's a really awesome position to be in. When you have now the ability to mold something into your character and your integrity.
Let me ask you, David, how did your mindset change when you retired from a player's position to move into the assistant coach position? Your mind has to shift now because as a player, you feel that anytime you get the ball, you can make a change in the game. Now you're an assistant coach. You hope that change could be made. You're now making the changes, and now that you're the head coach, you're now responsible for those changes. So tell me how that transition for you has been so far. You haven't had the opportunity to make those changes as the pro coach yet, but being in that environment with Danny, obviously that the same system of what you're looking at, what you're seeing is kind of the same.
Yeah, the transition from a player to assistant coach, it was interesting because I never got a chance to retire from the game. it just happened. I wasn't afraid of leaving the game. Some older players or players when they get old, the fear of leaving. I always gave something back. It was the one game I remember clearly. It was Stockton in California. I do remember I was player assistant coach, and then he says, "Hey, you up to play tomorrow?" And I'm like, and I had to think about it because I was older. It wasn't a need for me to be out there running around. The need was for me to make sure I'm growing other players. And it was a transformation. I said, no, I'm okay. I think the guys have got this. And that was it. And it just transformed into all of a sudden, my focus was to empower them as assistant.
Right.
That transformation was it was actually easy because I already made up my mind that I done everything I can in the game. The players at the time that I was playing for, they got it. They have it. And I've seen so much through my pro career. I mean, it's been amazing what I'm able to experience, but I felt at the time of that transition, it was okay. I knew I still had the players' respect, and I knew that I was have a different voice as a leader. That was the toughest part, being assistant coach, player assistant coach. That was so tough because you have to balance the line. So now it's a whole different ball game now, right? It's a whole different ball, proof of concepts. And in pro, you don't have time. Winning is where it's at, right? Fans are not coming there for you. Okay, you're going to try something this year, right? Okay, everybody, fans, I'm going to try something this year. So I had to be very confident and also be transparent to the fans on what they're about to see. And my job is to make sure that the players are still entertaining. They're responsible for being an entertainer. And the biggest shift is that professional athletes and athletes in general, they only spend 5% of the time on the ball. 95% is off the time. So I have to prepare the mind and the mental capacity on how to do many things. Awareness, things like scanning, understanding the game, being focused. So there's a lot of other areas. And that area I knew I needed support. That's why I got an awesome and strong performance coach.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking at this first game of the season, what concerns you personally the most?
I don't like losing. So I love winning. And let me tell you something. Not so much I'm concerned about losing the game than I am about my players not putting into play the expectation, right? The objectives. And one of the objectives is that I need to see growth from what I've been teaching them. I need to see those things come together. I've also gave a forecast to myself on where I'm going to be in the first 10 games. I have to hit that mark. Yeah, I have to hit the mark. At the end of the day, I also want to win my home games. I want to win every home game, right? Because that's important. We have 24 games, 12 home. Win your 12 home games gives you a chance to get into their playoffs.
Yes.
I think it's more got my concern for this next 10 games is to how long it's going to take my players to make the mental shift into this new voice, into new change, into this voice has changed to build chemistry. And also I'm expected to really put in them a quality, right? I want quality. And with quality, they got some things that they're going to have to do, right? Quality of play means is that the only way for that to happen, you got to give yourself more time. That happens. You got to give yourself more distance and space around the ball. For that to happen, your angles have got to be right. So that really calls for them to also be able to visual and really pick up this game, to think faster and play better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's going to be the shifting, right? Can they shift? How fast is going to take for them to shift? I analyze the game and I'll be dissecting the game shift by shift, period by period, and then see where I'm going to be at. So I always build objectives for every part of the game. Okay, that's how I coach. So I am excited to watch it all come to life, right? Watch it all come to life. No fan wants to come to a bad movie. I have to be able to have the ability as a coach to conduct a good movie and to be able to kind of really get the fans embracing and my players to have a love and a passion for the game. Sure.
Well, we have some exciting news, being that you want to make sure that people see what style of football David Bascom is putting out on the field each and every night. We're actually partnering with the Baltimore Blast to do pre-shows, post-shows, and get a little bit of some of the game from Paul Mittermeier, as well as the Blast staff, to bring to life what's going on with our professional coach in the indoor league in the U.S.
Yeah, I think.
So, are you excited?
Yes, I am excited. And I'll tell you, it's crazy because back in the day when I was in Harrisburg, well, 1990, 91, I remember, and I was playing, I remember actually sending the tapes back, the VHS tapes back to Bermuda. Federal Express, in whichever way, I think at the time it was DHL, I'm not sure. Send it back down on Monday for these games to be getting played on Tuesday nights. And it was crazy because I was playing, and I remember this one game, this young man rainbowed me, scored. I said, no, I can't send that tape. Right? I can't let my people see that tape. They never saw that part of the tape. I think I had the ability to cut it out. I think when you're trying to make edits on a VHS, I had to cut the tape, right? And you tape
cut
it back.
The tape. Yeah, to cut the tape and slice it back together.
I sliced it, right? So I sliced that out. No, I'm excited because it's really going to be something, right? As a professional coach, getting to see the other side, right? What does it look like? We're also talking about opportunity. A lot of players that looking to play this game, outdoor game, a lot of them pass through. If they're looking to come to Baltimore, they're passing through this indoor game, right? Because the transition, this is a serious game. We got some very good players. I mean, my performance coach worked with David Luiz in Brazil. He actually worked with our Victoria Club and also our Santos. So there's an awesome staff here. I want really people in Bermuda to really see, right, the sides and the ups and downs, right? Not everything's going to go great. And I don't hide from nothing. The coaches in Bermuda who's coaching amateur, right? The amateur game in Bermuda really get to see a different side, get to experience that through my eyes and this journey as a coach. And the one thing I told the fans, listen, I'm not afraid to be fired. And I'm okay with it, right? As long as I am transparent and it's done under my integrity, my principles, but I'm also human and I will make mistakes. But it's for the integrity and the success for this club. I've released a couple of players. People not happy, and that's okay. One thing I've mentioned to the fans is that the difference between a fan and a coach, and I can't caught up being a fan of my players because I'll be too emotionally and socially connected to them. And when it comes to those hard times to make decisions, it'd be tough for me to make it, right? I'm the coach of the team. I'm here to develop the areas of the game of the players that they cannot see. Yeah, they cannot have greatness on their own. And I have to kind of let them know that. So I'm very, very hard. The last 2 days was tough for my players. I'm sure they probably wanted me to be in Bermuda at this time. Yeah, on vacation. I swear one of them. I swear one of them asked me under their breath, "Do I need a Snickers?" Because they. So I demand quality. I demand quality to no end, and I'm excited to be partner and the Blast to be partnered. Because it's really important, right? This is a whole different beast to get to see the insides and outs of this professional indoor journey.
Sure. And I'm glad to be able to partner with the Baltimore Blast and thank them for allowing and trusting Island Stats to assist with bringing it to Bermuda so that Bermudians do get to see that professional environment behind the scenes with the coach, in games, in the locker room, all different types of scenarios, how you work out when a team's dominating and then you have to turn it back around with them kind of thing. So I'm excited because now our coaches in whatever sport get to see firsthand how a professional coach prepares, understands, and makes it through an event of a game detail by detail. So that's what I'm excited about, that people can now look at it and say, okay, maybe I could use this tactic. Maybe I can't use this tactic, but maybe I could use it on a player, not a team, or just those little small things, the availability to partner with an organization that would allow us to do that, I think is great.
Now I'm excited. If I'm correct, you're going to be here shortly in Baltimore, and you're going to get to see some of the background stuff that goes on. But I tell you, it's not easy coaching pro. Think about responsible for a young person's job, their paycheck.
Mhm.
I have to give them every opportunity and develop a culture and a climate for them to be successful. That's on my hands.
Mhm.
And if they don't reach these moments of where they're performing well, it's on me. Despite some
Yes.
onus is on the player, but I selected the player. I scouted the player. And I have to give. But the one thing is I had mentioned to my players today is that I do demand quality. I do demand quality. And as I told them, perfection needs your attention. Perfection needs your attention. And they're going to have ample time to work on their craft. Because at the end of the day, when the job has been done and the game is over, we all are made accountable. We all are made accountable. And I have to see that. I had to see that through. Little things like teaching them things to take them beyond what an average player does. How do I get them past an average player's thought process, right? As simple as teaching them, what does awareness look like on the field? How do you coach awareness? How do you process this? What does it look like? How do I get your way as an average player has the mindset of receiving the ball, controlling the ball, then looking up, then making a decision. See, to take them to the next level, they have to see, think before the ball comes, scan the field, then they got to play. And to change that, right? So I'm taking my average pro players to another level, and I have to do that, right? Because it gives them complete buy-in to their growth.
All right. Well, Mr. Bascom, I do want to thank you very much for your time. We look forward to being in Baltimore. Unfortunately, we're going to miss the first game due to my commitment here in Columbia, but I will be there for game 2, and hopefully it'll be your second win at home. No pressure, though, no pressure.
Mr. Basin, if you come up here and I lose a game, I'm going to let you know 2 things is going to happen. It's either I'm going to hold you up here hostage until we do win one. Yeah, that's number one. Or I'm going to ship you back to Columbia. But you're not going back to Columbia to tell a story. Okay? Nah, it's always a pleasure. All the best in Columbia, yeah?
All right, all right. Well, folks, I want to thank you very much for your time. We are got challenging times here in Colombia with the internet, and hopefully it gets better because once these kids do start, we want to make sure that we are able to bring you all the updated information regarding the Bermuda athletes here at the Junior Pan Am Games. Mr. Bascom, good luck on the 4th. We will see you right after that.
All right, then. Thank you.
Enjoy your night.
Okay.
Okay.